Welcome to NS302 Kubernetes No-Name Platform installation. My name is George Karabotzis. I am pretty much running everything related to training at No-Name, but for the purpose of these recordings, I am the technical instructor. So I'm narrating uh, the slides, I'm narrating all the exercises, and so on. Okay. I'm based out of Wilmington, North Carolina nowadays, but I'm originally from Montreal, Canada, with a stint in Europe, hence the accent. My relevant experience 14 plus years as a software developer. Somewhere in between those 14 plus years, I decided to follow an academic career. That's why you see 4 years in academia until I realized it's not for me. And I went back being a software developer. And now for the past 11 and a half years, I've been working in a professional training capacity. Uh, the relevant experience that you will need in order to get the most out of this course is Kubernetes and Unix. All right, Kubernetes and Unix. The more of Kubernetes you know, the more of Unix you know, the better you're going to be. Right. Now, again, even if you have zero knowledge of Kubernetes and Unix, you're still going to be able to complete the course. Primarily because I'm holding your hand while we're doing all the exercises. Okay. So you will be able to complete everything. Right. The difficulty will be in understanding everything we're doing, right? So keep that in mind. Everything else that you see right underneath Unix is pretty much topics that are relevant, but not really necessary for this course, right? But the more you know, the better you're going to be. Okay. Finally, your expectations will be that you will be able to install the no-name platform in a Kubernetes cluster, and you will be able to install the no-name remote engine in a Kubernetes cluster. Okay, we will do all of these, and of course explain how we do it, why we do it, and how we do it. Okay, that's your expectation. All right, the set of resources and prerequisites. You're getting a PDF document that contains all the slides that I'm actually sharing with you. You're going to get a walkthrough manual. It's about 17 pages, 18 pages long, that contains step-by-step instructions on how to complete the exercises. Okay. Again, you may not be the audio visual type of an individual. You may prefer to read. Okay, so this is an alternative, and this is your main, pretty much your main artifact out of this class, right? This walkthrough manual. We need a set of student files, Helm override file, simple Ingress configuration, and again, we don't need to download them per se. What we need to do is make sure that they're present in our VMs, and they are present in our VMs because we need them in order to configure a Kubernetes cluster. Okay. Now, the you need two VMs. You need the no-name platform and one VM to install the no-name platform, and another VM to install the no-name remote engine. Okay, two VMs. In order to gain access to the resources to complete the class, to complete the hands-on portion of the class, you need to send an email. It's a manual process. Okay, send an email to training@thonamesecurity.com. Okay, and there's the VMs and there's the license file. These are the resources for this class. Okay, and it's a manual process. You want to complete the hands-on portion, send an email. It's still a manual process. Okay, and within a few hours, I should be providing you with these resources so you can do the hands-on portion. Hands-on portions are important. Why? Because they keep you engaged. And pedagogical studies have shown that if you stay engaged, you learn more. Okay? That's a general rule, but of course, a general rule has exceptions. You may be an individual who prefers to sit back and just listen and watch. If that's you, then you probably don't want those VMs, right? Again, we're all adults. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. Okay? Ideally, you want to do all the hands-on exercises because that's how you learn. Okay? Right. So the no-name platform, we need to install it and access it. and it comes with a self-signed certificate. So you need to use a laptop that gives you the ability to access self-signed certificate. Laptop, desktop, whatever you have. Okay. Access to a RESTful client, it's not really necessary. Right? It's not really necessary. We can go ahead and use our browser. But if you have access to a RESTful client like Postman, Insomnia, or even the command line curl, um, it's going to be easier for you. Okay. You need access to a terminal with SSH ability into AWS VMs, the EC2s, right? So we need to be able to SSH. If you're on Windows, use PuTTY. If you're on Linux, use whatever native terminal comes with. If you're on Mac OS, use the native terminal. Okay. I am on Linux, and I will be using my native terminal. Okay. The license file, part of your resources, we need it in order, for the very first time, we log into the no-name platform in order to complete the installation. That's the very first, that's the only time we need it. Okay. I will provision this for you when you request for the resources. Having an understanding of Kubernetes will help you immensely. Okay. Will help you immensely. You can skip like pretty much most of the slides. Um, a good chunk of the slides, or the slides that I'm going to share with you, are pretty much related to explaining Kubernetes. Again, if you already know Kubernetes, you can skip that part, right? If you don't, listen to it. It's going to help you. For all your communication, you want to access the resources to complete the hands-on, you send an email at training@nonamesecurity.com. You have any questions, send an email at training@nonamesecurity.com. Okay? Um, any questions, comments, constructive feedback, non-constructive feedback, training@nonamesecurity.com. Okay? So what are we going to do? The very first 5 bullets is slides. Do not expect a lot of slides. I suspect another maybe 10, 20 minutes on slides, and the rest of our time will be doing the actual exercises. Okay. Um, the very first 4 bullets is all about talking Kubernetes. For those of you who have no clue about Kubernetes, right? What Kubernetes is. I'm going to try to explain to you the main components, the architecture, what are the different tools that are available, right? Or the tooling that supports Kubernetes clusters, their creation, their management, and so on. Ingress controller, which controls traffic coming in and out the cluster, and so on. The next bullet is all about what does the no-name platform look like inside a Kubernetes cluster, right? We're going to talk about how you can configure the no-name platform. We're going to talk about how what are the prerequisites, the hardware prerequisites of your cluster in order to be able to, I don't know, support the no-name platform, right? And that's it. That's the slides. The rest is all about creating K3D clusters. We're making use of K3D, which is a tool. I'll show you more details when we get to it, which is a tool that gives us the ability to create localized Kubernetes clusters in VMs, in our even if in our laptops, if our laptops can support it, and so on. Okay, and then we're going to configure and install the no-name platform, and then we're going to configure and install the no-name remote engine. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you how you can provision remote engines, how you can install them, and so on. Okay, that's the bulk. Last 3 bullets is the bulk, the actual hands-on. Now, every time we complete a section, a recording section, you're going to see a slide like this. This is your visual cue. Yes, I will be telling you the section is done. Let's move on to the next. But sometimes people prefer a visual cue. So that's it. This is it. And the main reason why I have these visual cues is because our LMS, the learning management system, doesn't have a good way of indicating that hey, the recording is done, like the playback is completed. I wish it did. It doesn't. Okay, so with this section end, talk to you in the next.